Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey at the JX Fight Club in Shanghai, China. Today we have a question from our friend Manuel Liriano, who says, would you ever recommend someone to do fist conditioning? What's your opinion on it? Fist conditioning? Huh, okay. Well, yes, but that depends on what you mean by fist conditioning. So there are some people out there who take this to an extreme. There are some people here in China, for example, who compete in these really weird rock-breaking competitions where they slam their hands repeatedly into hard objects over years and years every single day until their hand becomes an unusable club. And their bones fuse together, and their hands grow like twice their original size, and they can't even articulate their fingers. Now, unless your sole ambition in life is to smash rocks with your hand, don't do that. However, if your goal is to be a better puncher for combat sports like boxing, mixed martial arts, karate, whatever your punching art is, well, yeah, but you gotta do it right, and you gotta do it smart, in a way that's not going to injure your hands, and in a way that is going to allow you to still use them for other stuff, like writing and clicking subscribe buttons and writing comments down below. Yeah, shameless plug right there. Let's go to the gym. So here we have a solidly packed heavy bag, and one of the simplest ways to condition your hands, bare hands. And you may notice that I have some tape wrapped around here. I was doing some speed bag work earlier, and when you're hitting a lot of stuff with your bare hands, to prevent skinning the hands up, sometimes I'll wrap a little tape around. Anyway, that's what that's for. But as far as bare knuckle conditioning, and I know they're not completely bare, but bear with me. Ha 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 ha. There's a pun for you. Start by punching things lightly. So I'm just kind of arm punching this, just tapping my fists, wrapping my knuckles against the bag. Nothing hard, nothing heavy. Essentially just getting used to the impact, because conditioning bones, conditioning striking points, is a long-term investment of time. This is a do it for a little bit every single day type of thing. Now, gradually, your knuckles are going to toughen up. They're going to get slightly larger. You're going to make tiny little microfractures. You're going to get calluses, that sort of thing. And so gradually, you will start hitting the bag harder and harder, but not too hard, not too hard, just a little bit at a time, tiny, tiny little bit. Especially if you are using 2 or 3 knuckle contact in your particular martial art or style of gloves that you're wearing. Okay, that's going to make a big difference. Striking with the knuckles of these 2 fingers versus striking with the knuckles of these 3 fingers. So whichever you choose, both have their advantages and disadvantages. And if you want to have an argument about that in the comments down below, go ahead. Go ahead. But whatever striking point you use, you're going to have to condition it by gradually wrapping those knuckles, those contact points up against a target. And then eventually, go a little bit harder. Now, what if you don't have a heavy bag? Don't worry, you got other options. Follow me. Hey, check this out. It's a floor. Ever seen one of those before? Now, I know this one has some mats on it, but you don't necessarily need mats. But it's definitely going to soften the blow if you start out. So, if you have a surface to wrap your knuckles on, guess what? You can wrap your knuckles on it. And gradually, just the process of doing that is going to toughen up the hands over time. Now, I'm not suggesting you bash your hands into the floor until they break, obviously not. But again, get your striking points used to a little bit of impact at a time. But what if you don't have this? Well, obviously, everybody has a floor somewhere, but follow me. Here are more ideas. Check this out. It's a piece of wood. It's a jerk box. boxes that you drop weights on top of when you're practicing your Olympic lifts, when you're doing weightlifting. So these things can take abuse. Now, you don't need professional quality jerk boxes, but if you have a piece of wood, that is an excellent knuckle conditioning tool to wrap your knuckles on. You can start light. You don't want to start full force punching something before your knuckles are conditioned to do so. But wrapping those knuckles on a piece of wood, day in and day out, a little bit at a time, will definitely help to condition them. I know it's boring, that's really all there is to it. The next part, however, is the wrist. So you've got to make sure that when you are punching or wrapping your knuckles, that your wrist is aligned correctly. So it's not bent all weird or anything like that, but your metacarpals, that's those long straight bones in your hand, are aligned directly with your wrist. And curl it down ever so slightly to lock it into place. So when we wrap the knuckles or punch or something like that, it's nice and straight, nice and locked. And again, it's a long, boring, tedious process that you're just going to do like 5 minutes a day or whatever. I don't do this hardly ever anymore because I do so much punching that, man, what's the point anymore? But yeah, if you're starting out, yeah, invest a little bit of time into it. Not a lot, just a little bit. Again, just so you get used to using your hands as a weapon if you've never done that before. So knuckle conditioning, it's really what I would say is something a beginner should do to small extents to get themselves used to, again, wrapping their knuckles against hard surfaces, like human chins and things like that. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Now get out there and train.